I'm saying the same thing that everybody else has said. Um, this is crazy. This is not right. Yeah, free Albert Wilson. This is not right at all. Before I get into reading this, I have a few questions that I want to ask. One of them was already answered. Um, yeah, we need to start showing the judge's face that did this. And also, I want to find out who the girl was because this is just all wrong. If she lied, you know, I'm just gonna get into the article because this is something crazy. Um, I linked this from Vibe, um, and they just kind of go into certain things on this. So I guess I'm gonna just start from here. September 10th, 2016, Family Weekend in Lawrence, Kansas is a yearly tradition where students and family and friends come together to celebrate the start of the new school year. Thousands of people visiting, thousands of people visit, creating a contagious excitement that carries into the night, especially in the area known as the Triangle. The night that would be filled with accusations against Albert Wilson. The night began at a famous bar within the Triangle that is historically known as the Hawk. 1057. I forgot to read the times, you guys. Sorry about that. According to the affidavit obtained from the court, Mr. Wilson and his friend are seen on the camera entering the bar at the time. Advertised as 21, an older bar. It's a 21 and over bar. The Hawk has gained an infamous reputation for allowing the entry of underage kids using fake IDs. Keep in mind that, you guys. This is what Mr. Wilson is seen doing to gain entry into the bar. Wait, what are you saying? No. Okay. This is what Mr. Wilson is seen doing to gain entry into the bar. So he got in. On the other hand, on the other end of the bar, according to the testimony of Danielle Danielle or yeah Danielle Car- Danielle Carroll, a witness who worked at the Hawk, and as seen on the video, the accuser, her cousin, and him walk into the Hawk without getting carded or stopped. All this occurs under the management of Sam Aminem. I can't say that last name. And also another witness this case. The night goes on. Mr. Wilson is enjoying his night like any other student in the local bar. He did not know that an interaction that had sparked up with a girl in the line to the boom boom room, quote unquote, would change his life forever. They met in line. The accuser and her cousin met Albert and his friend. The accuser pulls his arm. Note that again. The accuser pulls his arm as they head into the dance room. But Mr. Wilson hesitates in order to ensure his friend was coming in as well. So he didn't even want to go out there until he was knowing his homeboy was going with him. This is seen on the video and heard during the testimony presented to the court. Okay, I don't know what is this on the bottom? Okay, I guess I'll read this. Wilson has testified now that he lives in Wichita, but was a full-time Kansas University student at the time. After getting his associate's degree at a community college. That night he and a friend met a girl and her cousin in line to get into the Boom Boom Room, the dark, crowded dance floor in the basement of the Hawk. So that was some other stuff. As quoted by Lawrence Journal, the surveillance footage from the bar shown in the court Wednesday shows her pulling him by the hand into the Boom Boom Room. See, this is not cool, dude. She insinuated that. That's not right. As quoted in the Lawrence Journal. Once in the dance room, Mr. Wilson admits to having kissed and touched the accuser. They were in the Boom Boom Room where as you know from the video, pretty much anything goes. Lowry said she's kissing him and he's kissing her back. That was two to tango. I don't understand how that could be rape. That doesn't make any damn sense. As quoted in the Lawrence Journal. So 12:15 a.m. Sorry, you guys. As seen on the video, Mr. Wilson and the accuser are seen leaving the bar together and walking down 14th Street hand in hand. Bar and outside, other cameras show the pair walking hand in hand around the corner and down to the 14th Street hill toward Wilson's house, 2 blocks away from the 1340 Kentucky Street. While the girl previously testified that she drunkenly stumbled, Wilson said she stumbled on a sidewalk crack on the steep hill. Then he asked if she was okay. He said that she jumped on him, wrapping her arms and legs around him and continuing to kiss him. While consent was never verbalized, Wilson said he believed that they were headed to his place to have sex and that she was on board. The girl testified that she told Wilson no, but he testified that she never said that. Man, that's not cool. As quoted in the Lawrence Journal. According to Google Maps, now this is like, I guess that, this is all surveillance stuff too, and the testimony. According to Google Maps, it takes approximately 4 to 5 minutes to reach Mr. Wilson's home when leaving the Hawk, depending on the conditions of the area. According to the affidavit, Mr. Wilson's friend received a call from Mr. Wilson at 12:17 a.m. at 12:20. The home of Mr. Wilson. I guess they're showing where all this stuff was. Using the assumption from Google Maps, Mr. Wilson said that the accuser would have reached his house around 12:20, according to the affidavit. Mr. Wilson's friend calls Mr. Wilson at 12:21, back at 12:21 a.m. 12:30. According to the affidavit, around approximately 12:30 a.m. in the morning, September 11th, 2016, Mr. Wilson calls his friend. Mr. Wilson is seen walking back with the accuser, then meeting up with his friend and leaving. Using the assumption from the Google Maps, Mr. Wilson and the accuser would have left his home around 12:25 in order to make it back at 12:30 a.m. Videos show the two returning to the bar, this time not hand in hand, about 15 to 20 minutes after they left. Wilson estimated that they were only actually inside of his room for 5 minutes. He said the girl came upstairs with him, lay on the bed, and then they continued to make out. He said he never removed her clothes and that he did not have sex with her. Wilson said he got a "where are you at" text and a missed call from his friend at the bar and decided to go see what he needed. When he told the girl that he was leaving, she gave him a mad look, and they both walked back towards the bar, Wilson said. Man, this is not cool. In October 2016, a 17-year-old reported to Lawrence police that she had been raped by a man she met at a bar near the University of Kansas campus. The teen told police that she was very drunk when the man, whose name she wasn't sure of, isolated her from her friend, walked her to a nearby home, raped her, and then walked her back to the bar. Okay, even that doesn't make any damn sense. Like, seriously, dude. Like, that's not typical rapist activity. He walked her back to the bar after he raped her? No, he didn't do that. I believe him, obviously. This is just not cool. November 2016. On November 18, 2016, the police found Wilson at his home and took him to the police station for an interview. When the police showed him the surveillance photos from the bar, Wilson said that it was him in the pictures. As quoted from Lawrence Journal. This is all from Lawrence Journal, I guess. That report and chain of police work that followed eventually led to the arrest of Albert N. Wilson, 21, of Lawrence, according to the affidavit prepared by the police in support of his arrest. Wilson was charged October 11th in Douglas County District with one account of rape, a felony. That's so messed up, man. And this is him. I'm sure he's really just like, what? What do you mean? November 2017. On Tuesday following Wilson's preliminary hearing, Judge Sally Pokorny ordered him bound over for the trial on two counts of rape. 2 counts, really? The original count from the allegations that he raped a teen at his home, and an additional account from the allegation that he lifted up her skirt and assaulted her inside the bar without consent. Man. Evidence showed the teen was intoxicated enough that she was unable to consent, and such inability that would have been apparent to Wilson, the judge ruled. Really? The teen repeatedly said no to Wilson, the judge said, based on the teen's level of intoxication, and said Wilson being larger than her, she had no way of actively resist or to get away from him, the judge said, as quoted in Lawrence Journal. After appearing in court on November 22nd. Mr. Wilson sat there listening to the accuser tell the events of the night. Wilson watched on. His attorney, Forrest Lowry, began to cross-examine the accuser. It was after his cross-examination and asking the accuser if force was directly used by Mr. Wilson's charges were changed from 1 count to 2 counts. After Amy McGowan requested a short recess. In asking the judge to dismiss the charges against the client, Lowry said there's no evidence that she was forced to do this. Lowry said the team continued to stay with Wilson in the bar and to his home and had the presence of mind to communicate, with him. In cross-examination with the team, Lowry asked whether Wilson forced or threatened her. No, he didn't threaten her. As quoted from Lawrence Journal. Wilson, though his appointed attorney, Forrest Lowry, pleaded not guilty, the judge scheduled the jury for April 30th. Okay, now we're going to early 2018. Spirit Diglozzi, that's a name right there, hired the district attorney's office and said that he interviewed the woman and the people that she was close to early 2018. He diagnosed her with post-traumatic stress disorder, with a very serious symptom persisting even at the time of his evaluation. More than a year after the incident, she maintained stellar grades in high school. When she went on to college, he said, but because of unhealthy throwing herself into school work to cope. Nah, dude, come on. He said that her mental health and family and friends' relationships deteriorated. He said that she had reoccurring nightmares and could not function in crowds in school and would sleep and to continue panic attacks, among the other problems. What if she had that before? They're saying, oh, okay. No. In addition, Wilson's trial was pushed back to a later date, January 7th, 2019, this year. The trial begins, jury selection on January, and Mr. Wilson is up against an all-white jury, which is a concoction of evil. Wilson appointed attorney to Forrest Lowry. Wilson's appointed attorney is Forrest Lowry. Amy McGowan is prosecuting the case for Douglas County Attorney's Office. Jury lasted all day that Monday, with the jury of 9 women, 3 men, plus 1 female alternate chosen at the end of the day. Okay, this is from the lawyer's journey. That's who Lowry is. Throughout the day, McGowan gave her opening statements, and the accuser and the witness took stand. The woman, who is now 20 and a sophomore at an out-of-state college, told the jury that she was visiting her cousin in Lawrence on that weekend of September 10th, 2016. They were drinking with some other women before they went to the Hawk. She was underage in doing that too. Man, that's not cool. Man, where she wasn't carded. That's a whole lot of trouble. She's already a whole lot of trouble with those 2 things just right then and there. 2 illegal things. She said that she was stumbling and didn't have control of herself, that she had been drunk like that before. Why was she throwing herself on that dude? That's not cool. Wilson then approached her inside the bar when they supposedly met in the line inside the bar. She said they started talking and moved to another area away from her cousin. He kissed her and then assaulted her, she said. Man, Wilson then asked the woman if she wanted to come to his place and spend the night. She refused. Why the hell did you walk with him then? That's a lie. Telling him that she needed to find her cousin, but Wilson persisted and convinced her to come with him to outside to call her cousin. She said to come with him outside to call her cousin. She said, I don't understand. I don't know if I read that right. I'm going to read that again. Wilson persisted and convinced her to come with him outside to call her cousin. I didn't understand that, she said. But the woman said that instead of stopping outside the bar, Wilson led her to his house, which was a few blocks away. She said she was too drunk to realize what was going on, and she did not know that they were going, and was concentrating on her feet to make sure that she was walking correctly. The woman laughed in court when she was describing how she could walk straight, but she began recounting how Wilson led her to his room. Her demeanor was sharply changed. She struggled to keep from crying and taking breaks in her testimony. Man, Lord have mercy. January 9th, 2019. There's a lot of stuff on here, y'all. I'm almost done. I didn't know it was this much, sorry. As seen in Lawrence Journal, Mr. Wilson takes the stand and gives his account of the events. Also, Kansas Bureau of Investigation testifies that no seminal or DNA was found. Wilson said he got a "where were you at" text from and a missed call from his friend at the bar, and decided to go and see what he needed. When he told the girl he was leaving, she gave him a mad look, and they both walked back toward the bar, Wilson said. The prosecutor, Amy McGowan, attacked this in particular, asking why Wilson didn't just ignore his buddy or the text that he was with the girl and to leave him alone. Why would you do that? That's stupid. That's what you do. That's what you want us to believe that happened, she said. Are you serious? Yes, Wilson responded. McGowan also reiterated that Wilson had watched the woman with whom he had no prior history in tears, saying that he raped her. McGowan asked if Wilson thought she made that accusation because she was mad and he wouldn't have sex with her. I believe so, Wilson said. He reiterated that the girl was not drunk and that they didn't have sex, and I didn't rape her. Kansas Bureau of Investigation Sciences testified while Wilson's DNA was found on the girl's chest where he said he kissed her. No seminal fluid or DNA was found on her clothing or on a vaginal swab. And this is all from Lowry's notes, his lawyer. January 10th, 2019. Amy McGowan gave her closing arguments. McGowan contended that Wilson deliberately targeted the obviously intoxicated girl in the bar. Not cool, man. They met outside. What are you talking about? Found her to be traceable, took advantage of that, leading her to his house for sex, then running away after she walked back to the bar in tears. No, they walked together. She said the girl, visibly emotional and diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after the event, was believable, while Wilson's story was corroborated by evidence. Was not corroborated by evidence. What do you mean? This has to come down to, as you all imagine, your determination of who you believe, who is credible, McGowan said. Mr. Wilson's attorney's closing arguments. Wilson testified that he did not have intercourse with the girl, and Lowry said there was no evidence that he did. Contrary to the girl's testimony that she was stumbling, Lowry said the surveillance video showed her walking just fine. See what I mean? Lying. Lowry said jurors could only speculate about why the young woman, who was white, while Wilson, who was black, claimed she was raped. He said they could have only speculated what actually triggered the PTSD that she and the psychologist described. Lowry said his client was not a criminal. He said that Wilson had no prior criminal history and testified that he'd never even talked to the police before. Man, after 6 hours of deliberation, the jury finds Mr. Wilson guilty for the accusation of rape that is occurred at his home. That's not right. Man, could they even go in his house and no, this is not right. But could not agree on the accusation of rape that occurred at the Hawk. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of this judge too. Hold on, guys and girls. This is Mr. Wilson. This is a messed up situation, man. The surveillance got her totally walking normal and all that. She's, man, guys, you got to be careful. Seriously. Now, the only two pics that I've seen of this woman, it almost seems like there might be two different pics. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Is this picture where she has red hair? Get a good look at this Judge Piggott. And also this picture. Kind of looks like the same person. Yeah. She's the one that dropped the hammer on Mr. Wilson. Now, another person that I want to find out is who is this woman? I want to find out who she is, because they're not saying her name at all. And whoever, let's hope that this guy gets a lawyer that could They need to take this case up again because there's a lot of holes in it based on surveillance and things that were not there and things that are not typical of rapists. It's obvious. I'm siding with Mr. Wilson. I don't care what anyone says. You know, it's just, you got to be careful. Guys have to be careful, big time. I'm not putting this all against women, period. But especially, unfortunately, we have this situation where the law will go in their favor even more so. I'm talking even racially, not necessarily women as a whole. But, you know, you got to be careful. Make sure that, you know, whoever you're with, you know, you got to communicate. I can't speak for what happened there in that regards, but unfortunately, the race factor definitely is there. There's no doubt about that. And then to give him what they gave him, 12 years in jail. Oh, they didn't give Ethan Couch anything, man. When he killed those people, they didn't give that Brock Turner character anything when, you know, he was raping that other college student. What about that? Oh, man, there's a lot of situations where, yeah, they gave him 12 years and then supposedly a lifetime of probation. There needs to be another lawyer to take this to a higher court because this is completely wrong. And we need to know who this alleged victim is. It's messed up. It really is. You got to be careful, man. Especially if you're dating someone, you know, outside of your race too, man. Like, you can't just go and do all that because you never know what these cats are up to. Specifically white women, you know. Not that I'm shaming all white women, but you got to be careful. You really have to be careful, you know. I hate to say this, but yeah, there's a race factor that's playing in this. And she put on the damn cell in distress tears, so they're going to listen to her. You know, it's messed up. I pray that the truth comes out about this. It already is out, but that this guy would not get the charges that he's getting. He shouldn't be even in jail. That was consensual. I don't think he forced her to do that at all. May the truth come out. Lord, may the truth come out. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. Sorry for the long video.